In the New York Times, Canada and China retaliate against U.S. tariffs, which Trudeau derides as dumb. I would play the video for you, but I can't stand hearing Justin Trudeau speak because he sounds like someone's gripping his balls and twisting them. He talks like this. And I'm like, no, stop. So, yeah, they're retaliating. But I don't really care all that much about Trudeau has to say because it's frail and weak. He did this whole speech where he's like, this one is to the American people. They are screwing you over, your government. And I'm like, quiet, I voted for this.
You sound like you're doing a South Park character.
That's how he talks.
Like a South Park.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Canadians from South Park.
Trudeau sounds like someone's, got him by the balls. And he's like, so anyway, here's the story that I actually think is really interesting is that the Ontario PM has threatened Americans who rely on the Canadian grid with cutting off their electricity.
Scumbag.
Yo, that's interesting because that's going to result in death. Yeah. We're talking about like 1.5 million people. You got to estimate there's some elderly and diabetics in there. You can't just cut off their electricity like that. He's saying he's going to do it. This is where we're at with the tariffs. And you had a Warren Buffett. I think it was Buffett, right? He said tariffs are an act of war sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People are getting real salty about their free trade garbage. But at the same time, UAW is backing Trump's tariffs.
Nice.
So let's go. What do you guys think?
So I don't know. The UAW is the United Auto Workers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look. Generally, I think tariffs are bad, or I have thought tariffs are bad. When Trump has used them as leverage, it's seemed to work successfully in a few cases. I'm not 100% sure what he's trying to do here because it seems like what he's trying to do is incentivize American companies to build or incentivize companies to build things in the U.S. And I don't know if that's a smart use of tariffs.
Well, I was reading this earlier, and you can fact check me if we're not sure, but I believe, so Canada has a bunch of tariffs on our stuff, and it's like 45% or something like that on cars. So I could see why the UAW would be in favor of having a bit of a tariff war, because it's what Trump's been saying since 2016 was that it's just very unfair. It's super skewed. It's not really free trade if everybody else is allowed to put tariffs on us, but we're not allowed to put tariffs on them, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense, but I'm a little, I guess, apprehensive about if it's going to work.
Well, stuff's going to change. I mean, it's not, transition periods sometimes are painful in the short term, but is it smart to just keep going with the status quo when it doesn't make any sense and we're kind of being ripped off and everybody gets to take advantage of the United States? We have to pay for everything. We have to pay for NATO. We have to pay for the UN. Everybody can slap tariffs on us, but if we do it, like, oh, we've got to be really careful. I don't know. I think it's time to.
They did have there was a number of tariffs from Canada in like 2018. There was steel, aluminum, whiskey, toilet paper, maple syrup, yogurt, coffee, prepared maple syrup.
How dare they?
Protectionism, Canada. Protectionism, much. And then dairy and agriculture stuff. But most of the tariffs were actually as a part of ongoing trade war stuff. So right now, Canada's got a tariff on U.S. orange juice, peanut butter, wine, spirits, beer, coffee. I guess Cass Brew can't be selling to Canadians anymore.
Hey.
Appliances, apparel and footwear, motorcycles, cosmetics, certain pulp and paper products. Well, it's going to affect people like individually, and that does suck. I mean, if you own a paper company and you're like, we're losing Canadian customers, I understand it's bad. In the big picture of the United States, no more freebies, Canada. No more freebies.
I just think that he's an Ontario Premier, Doug Ford. That's his name, Doug Ford. He said, he literally said.
He said, "Where's the Coke at?" Right?
He probably did. But he said, if they want to annihilate Ontario, I will do everything, including cut off their energy with a smile on my face. So he wants to cut off the energy with a smile on his face. This guy sounds like a terrible, I'm not going to swear, terrible, disgusting human being to cut off energy with a smile on his face because he has some kind of make-believe beef with Donald Trump.
That's
F that guy.
That is like the point of this. This is all, we're going to do this because we don't like Donald Trump. This is all about personal grievance with Donald Trump.
Well, I think all these entrenched, like this power structure is so entrenched, and the people who are getting so much out of it, of course they don't want to change, and of course they're going to fight back tooth and nail because you're taking away their little grift here that they have going on. Or, we all know that members of Congress are making inordinate amounts of money compared to what their salary is supposed to be. This power structure is old, and all these people are, in behind closed doors. They're all on the same team, and they're all getting the deal. And Trump's kind of coming in and going, I don't think so.
The infrastructure that's been built over the past 20 or 30 years has been to grow the Canadian and Mexican economies to stabilize the North American economic bloc. So what you end up with is, go back to the 90s, and it was like $3 to $4 for a Canadian to $1 US. And pesos were worse than that.
Right.
Now it's getting closer to comparable. Pesos are still a little bad, but Canadian dollars are now close to the US dollar. Because what happened is, through these free trade deals, we gave up all of our manufacturing base and raw materials to Canada. We get lumber from Canada. We have trees. We can make regrowth forests and grow our own trees. And so he has the nerve to come out and say that we're going to lose access to these important goods. And I'm like, well, we only lost access because scumbags in our government sold out the American working class, outsourcing all of these jobs. Outsourcing has been a big scandal the entire time, and they hope you just die, roll over, and forget about it. People retire, they lost their jobs, and now Canada's mad because they're going to go back to where they were. Right. They're a very small economy. They should not be as big as they are, but we give them our labor instead of doing exactly.
Yeah.
No more freebies.
It's a little bit personal for me. Growing up in a small rural town in Michigan in the 80s and 90s, I watched my hometown die as a result of NAFTA. Our whole economy was it was farmland, and then in the town we had a GM plant that made parts. And when they passed NAFTA, it closed down. The whole town started to die off. The people who are still there were there because they're stuck. They were too poor to get out. And so drugs come in and crime comes in. It just destroyed people's lives.
I saw this video where they put Chris Farley and David Spade from Tommy Boy into Shark Tank.
I saw that.
Saw that one?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
And it's like they're trying to sell the brake pads to the sharks, and the sharks don't want it.
Yeah.
I got an idea, okay? Maybe someone out there can do this. You need to take scenes from Tommy Boy. For those of you know what Tommy Boy is, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we're all old
Who
here.
doesn't? We're all Americans.
If you don't, Chris Farley, David Spade in the 90s, and they have to go. Chris Farley's dad dies, and he's this great salesman for the Callahan Auto Parts.
He's paint shit.
Yes, right. The whole town relies on this one auto factory. All the jobs are there, and if that plant closes, the town will collapse. Mm-hmm. Chris Farley's dad dies. He's Tommy. So he goes off trying to sell brake pads so that he can get enough orders to keep the plant open. And he struggles and learns along the way, whatever. Someone needs to go in and use AI to change it to NAFTA and Bill Clinton signing a deal, and then the plant closing down and reopening in Mexico with a bunch of just like outsourced labor. And be like, there you go, Tommy Boy. So here's the edit I'd like to see. He succeeds in selling the brake pads. They go, yay. And then the next year, he looks at it. He's like, everyone's canceled on us. Why? Or how about this? He goes to sell, and instead of any of these joke scenes where he tries to convince them, they say, why buy from you when I can buy from Mexico for $1 less? Ooh. Buy. And then the plant goes out of business. Everyone loses their job. And the final scene is everybody's homeless.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's cold. And it's cold up in Canada. You need homes. You need walls. So you better do right by us.
I mean, like I said, I've got some people that are actually tweeting at me to the list of the things that are under tariffed or that are tariffed by Canada, and it looks fairly egregious. 270% for milk, I think it was. Milk is Canada imposes tariffs on U.S. goods. Dairy products, milk 270%, cheese 245, butter 298, poultry 238, eggs 163, barley 160, wheat 94, sugar 265, peanut butter 295, rice 150, vegetables 100%, fish products 100%, lumber 20, shoes 30. If this is true, now again, this is just someone sent this on Twitter, so it could be wrong. I could be, someone could be, making a joke out of me or whatever. But I mean, if that's the case,
no,
I don't see how Canada's in any position to actually behave as if
in other words, Phil, they don't have the cards. They don't have the cards.
That's pretty
don't have any cards. We've got the cards.
Gotta use the hands. You don't
Yeah,
have to
she was
color-
doing. She was doing it. She was doing it.
Oh yeah, they grow peanuts up there. It's like protectionists. Check out this clip from Brian Krasenstein. It says, "Scenes from Ontario, Canada, making America great again by making the world hate us and not buy from us. This is American liquor produced in red states that has been ordered to be taken off the shelves across Ontario." Yo, I don't think he realizes. I laughed my ass off when I saw this video. Watch.
I've already paid for it, you idiots.
Look. So it's just there comes all. What brand is that? Can you tell? Is that Bullet?
It doesn't
Bullet
hurt.
whiskey?
It doesn't hurt the
I was like,
company
dude,
That stuff-
there's no tariff on it. You have it
Yeah.
already. You can sell it. They're like, oh yeah, we'll show you. We'll take all the stuff we own and get rid of it. And it's like, okay, that doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
I ain't selling it to you twice.
We're gonna lose money.
Just
You
for
know-
spite?
They're-
Like, was it just
right.
for
Yeah.
spite?
I'm gonna lose
For
look
the
at this.
video, you know.
What is that one?
It's totally all for spite. That's the point. Like, this is all. None of this is actually doing anything. This is all performative, and it's all for spite. And if the tariff issue is settled in 3 days, the company that bought those is out the booze. They have to buy more of the booze because the tariffs are gone, and their customers are going to come in and be like, "Yeah, I like that. Where is it? How come I can't get it anymore?"
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.